Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim, and welcome to another Indie Friday. Happy Friday, by the way. I hope yours is doing well. I'm doing alright myself. I'm here today to present to you another game. We're here with Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe, an indie game made by Adult Swim Games with the help of Andrew Moorish. It's available on Steam today, as a matter of fact, on sale for a launch promotion of $5.99. Soon it'll change over to its regular price of $7.99. But it was described to me as a mix between, imagine if Dr. Wily trapped Super Meat Boy in this hellish Tetris world. Yeah, it sounds pretty weird, right? It sounds pretty awesome, too. Well, yes, to both, as it turns out, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But first, as always, we're going to check out the options menu. Nothing too fancy here. Sound effects, music volume, full screen on and off, effects quality high and low. I can't really tell the difference between the two. I think it determines how many particles explode when you destroy the various blocks and stuff. And you can also set your controls. You can also set it for, let's see, I think it does. Yeah, you can set your controls independently for the single player with a gamepad and keyboard, and there's also a local multiplayer as well, and you can set those independently. Apparently it recommends either a keyboard and gamepad or two gamepads. You don't really want to play on the same keyboard, as it turns out. But anyway, it also has an album here for you to see all of the progress that you've made so far. I took the liberty this time of actually going ahead and playing the game a little bit through, so that way I can talk semi-intelligently about it by the time I get here. But now I'm going to show you the single player. There are 8 characters that you can pick from. Each of them has varying degrees of proficiency in either jump, power, or speed, and a special move. For example, our main hero has a cape and decent speed, decent jump, decent power, and the ability to slow his fall if you hold the up button. Kind of like Bit Trip Runner in Super Meat Boy. No, it was one of them. Anyway, this character, the ninja, also has a double jump. It's very fast, but doesn't hit very hard. And it will show you why that matters in a minute. This character has a jetpack that goes on forever. He moves incredibly slowly, but has an infinite jetpack. This character has the ability to shoot in both directions at the same time, or independently of each other, with either the primary or secondary fire. So I mean, they're all very interesting. This one is really cool. This one actually has a melee attack instead of like an actual ranged attack, but he hits as fast as you can hit the button. I don't know. It seems kind of neat. So we'll start off with the basic character. It has 6 worlds for you to pick from. I've already unlocked 3 of them, as you can see. Troublesome Tech, War of the Woods, and Retro Relic. I can't really even see the names of the other... Oh, wait, yes I can. Icy Island, Mansion Mania, and what's the volcano? Cooking Caves. Interesting. So each of these are an area of the Tetris hell world that I was talking about earlier. You warp into it, and we see this is our game board. This is the Tetris hell that I was describing to you. It looks familiar, no? But it's a platformer as well. You see, our little guy is able to run around amongst the blocks and shoot them out in ever amassing groups as the blocks fall into place. And you can see that the bigger the group of blocks that I'm trying to break, the more shots that it takes, which might not seem all that important. Sorry, it's kind of hard to make a point and play this game at the same time. It might not seem that important, not really milliseconds, but the half seconds that it takes to break these blocks, but it really does later on once the blocks start coming down in greater numbers. And you have to take your time to be able to destroy them without falling through. Because as you can see down there, you can't let the last row fall all the way through, or else, well, you fall onto spikes. But you go around shooting all of these blocks, gaining levels, which makes sure you're able to do more damage and shoot out the block sections easier. Trying to survive as long as you can, picking up these block pieces. And avoiding the various traps that fall into place. Yep, those are spikes. And spikes hurt. It's interesting to note on here that while if you get crushed by something, see if I can get crushed. Well, if you get crushed by something, it levels you down to the point where you only need 1 bit to go back up. But if you fall onto something, it kills you instantly. And that can get kind of frustrating once you've been playing for about 15-20 minutes, and every so often you have to take the 3 seconds to go back to the menu and hit enter, and it adds up. It really does. So that, I gotta say, that's one minor gripe, but, you know, minor. But as we go on here, you see that it kind of becomes a little bit more difficult to keep your position on top of the stack and gain your levels to make the game advance faster, and to unlock the next levels, and to make your character go all the way up to, I think it's level 4 is the max if I'm not mistaken. And by that point you are just, you can destroy pretty much every like 1 and 2 block in one hit, and you move a little bit quicker, and it's really interesting the way this game plays itself out. So far, I think in this stage it only does the spikes and the cannons, but in later levels it adds in like drills that come down from the ceiling to do, oh god, to do massive damage, and it adds ever-increasing sections of difficulty like that, where it just kind of really seems like it's trying to screw you over. But you see what I mean by it takes a little bit longer to get that section there, and in taking that time to get that section, I ended up kind of getting screwed. But because it only takes 1 star bit, once you get kind of crushed like that... Oh, there's a star. I need that star. The star... Because you only need the 1 star bit after that... Oh god, look at that giant laser I am shooting. I want the star. Why can't I get the star? Oh well. I had to be able to get up here to actually touch the star to get the star, and, you know, I wasn't able to. The ninja with his double jump ability is actually one of the easiest to get it with. The star here, you won't take any damage when stuff falls on you, and you're kind of able to just pick up for lost time as you go through here. Because, good lord, you can get trapped down in some of these bigger sections. And, oh, come here, star! Come here, star! Ah, come here. See, that was one of the drills I spoke of earlier. Okay, good. I gotta tell you, this game, it's very fun. It's very frustrating, and it's very, oh god dang it. It's very adrenaline packed, and it's kind of hard to focus and make a good point while at the same time playing well, because I want to show you a little bit later on how it just gets, I mean, almost unbearably quick with how fast they drop and where they drop, and it kind of seems like it ends up following you for a bit, which it's a nice difficulty curve. So you unlock new characters and new levels by collecting the various gems and certain numbers of star bits as they come down. I think I unlocked my next character at 500 star bits, so let's see if I can kind of survive until then. Okay. Whew. But if you notice that when you shoot out a section that is attached to one of the traps, it actually destroys the trap, which is kind of handy. And so there's a lot of planning that goes into it as you're trying to make your way down here. Come here, star. No, I need a star. Oh, I got zealous. I got overzealous. I was hoping to go for the chest after I got the star. Oh, and I ended up screwing myself. I'm sorry. That's what happens, you know, with a game that's really kind of fun and really exhilarating and engaging. You get lost for a moment, and you have more fun than you think you're having at that moment. And you know, that's a mark of a good game to me. So anyway, it also has leaderboards here where you can set a high score that you can compete with yourself. It has global high scores with some of your friends, and also a stat screen on, let's see, I got 230 that time, so nowhere near close to my 500. 256 coins collected, 6 jewels, 11 largest combo. Hooray. Oh, nuts, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. Let's go back to the main menu, and then Now we're gonna pick the ninja, who is actually my favorite because that double jump ability is just so nice to have. And as you'll see, he moves like 10 times quicker than the caped character. And now I'm gonna play one of the later levels because I'm really gonna show you how this game ramps up the difficulty here. I think if you looked on the beginning stat screen, I've played for about an hour so far, and so I've been able to unlock these amount of levels and that amount of characters in that time, and that's with, you know, having to go with the learning curve. So take that for what you will. I'm you know, I'm not gonna say I'm the best at puzzles and or platforming, but I'm certainly not bad at them. So let that bear in mind as you, oh god, as you end up, yikes, playing this through. Sorry. Take 2. Break. But if you notice, the soundtrack is kind of quirky and fun. It's old, you know, 8-bit MIDI style. I enjoy it. I enjoy it greatly. This game is a lot of fun to just lose your mind for a second and really enjoy it. So I think for the next minute or so, as I kind of try and progress in this level, I'm going to let the music go and have fun watching. So as you can see, I've gotten a little bit further now, and they pick up the pace with the traps. They that tiki torch guy was a little bit of a bother, and these little TNT plungers are no help at all. Yeah, turns out if anything falls on them, they explode, and they explode for a couple of squares worth too, so you can't even get anywhere close. But I was saying, the double jump ability is actually very, very handy in this game because it lets you kind of reach out and grab some of the falling star bits and then jump back to safety very quickly. So that's very handy. We're at level 3 now, and you notice that my star is kind of turning into this. It went from 1 star to 2 stars to now 1 giant star. Gosh! Oh! I have not seen that one before. Oh crap, and then there's more of them. Great. Woo! I have not seen the giant ball and chain like that before. I've seen some of the bigger traps. They have a big buzzsaw that comes through every now and again to try and murder you, and that's not fun. And apparently, the big old ball and chain, and big rows of sections that come down like that. I've noticed that if you destroy a block as it's falling, it only gives you the 1 credit for it, and it doesn't like connect it back with its section. So that's kind of interesting. The way that they play with the traditional rules, as it were, god dang it, of the puzzle platformer. You know, like when the puzzle blocks slide together, they're automatically the next block section. Things of that nature. I like it. I like the way it bends the rules a little bit. So, the other thing that this game has are challenge missions. As you can see, I've beaten a couple of them. So let's see if I can do one of them and talk at the same time, because I think this is going to be just incredibly difficult. So these challenge missions, you have varying levels of time to get through and survive. And each, this is where you kind of find out that some of the other units have special abilities that you didn't know about. Like the ninja, as it turns out, can actually walk on spikes if you just walk onto them. And that turns out to be very handy knowledge in some of the later levels. And one of the other ones, it teaches you how to use the gliding guy's glide method to actually go in between shots and bricks and things of that nature. And so these challenge missions are actually a really good way to teach you some of the more advanced principles behind the game. For example, the timing of the chainsaws. You didn't actually get to see the chainsaws in any of the levels, but these little chainsaw son of a guns here are actually very annoying, because as long as that chainsaw is even a speck outside of that box, it will murder you. Okay, and so you kind of have to learn their timing. And that's, again, something that these challenge missions kind of excel at being able to teach you, is the way that these traps work in a little bit more controlled environment, and something that you can repeat, and something that you might not necessarily get so frustrated having to reset on every 3 seconds. God dang it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's been a pretty decent look at Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe. I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I am going to play the stuffing out of this game, I'm sure, just to pass the time, because the soundtrack's great, the gameplay's great, it's nice and tight. There are a couple little quirks with it that you kind of have to get used to that may turn you off to it. Like, if you're expecting a little bit more puzzle than platform, you might be a little bit disappointed. But for the most part, it's a wonderful game put out by Adult Swim. They're on a run recently, so go out and support them. It's available on Steam, like I said, today for $7.99 once this launch promotion is over. But if you act now, it's on sale for $5.99. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Leftwich. You've been watching this on youtube.com/TimLeftwich. And as always, we'll see you next time.